Hey, hi. In this video, I will show you how we can deploy Prometheus on Amazon EKS cluster. As you know, Prometheus is a service which is an open source a tool which is used for monitoring the multiple system. Okay, it can be used for monitoring the here on the Kubernetes service, or you can use it on the Elastic Kubernetes service or Azure Kubernetes service. Okay, so this is the open source tool which is used for monitoring purpose. Okay, so here in this demo, what I do is I do show you three steps here. First one, how we can spin up an EKS cluster on the AWS account. Once the EKS cluster has been created, how we can publish an example application to the Kubernetes cluster. Then once we have these components running in the EKS, then we will configure our Prometheus service, which we use for monitoring our nodes, pods, and other related infrastructure. Okay, that is how we can monitor the Elastic Kubernetes service with using Prometheus. Okay, that's the main aim of this demo. Okay, so before I walk you through the command line tool, so here what I do is I will be using PowerShell command line interface where I will be invoking the ekctl and also kubectl command lines to do my job. Yeah. So before I walk you through those demos, let me quickly walk you through the just a brief about Prometheus information. So as you see, this is the logo of our Prometheus tool, which is used for monitoring the EKS service, that is Amazon EKS service. So as you know that see this is my AWS account which I will be using for this demo. So before I walk you through the demo, let me just have a brief hint about what is the Prometheus all. So as you see this is the Prometheus web page where you can see the definition. Like Prometheus is an open source system monitoring and alerting toolkit originally built at SoundCloud. Okay, so as I explained, it's open source systems, it's an open source tool first and which is used for monitoring and alerting purpose. Okay, that's the main overview of the Prometheus. It has multiple features, right? So the main features of Prometheus includes multi-dimensional data model. Okay, then it has its own query language that is called PromQL, and there is no distributed database storage here, but single server are all autonomous. So that's a specialty of this Prometheus tool. Then the data collection is time series collections. Data happens in time series collection happens via pull model of HTTP on. Okay. Then the push time series are supported via intermediary gateway as well. Yeah. So again, what I do is I will again. So these are the multiple features are being provided by the Prometheus, which is a monitoring tool for our EKS cluster. Okay. So then the components which includes Prometheus server, client library, push gateway, the exporters, alert manager, and various tools. Okay, these are the components of our Prometheus tool. Okay, so as you know that, so in my previous video also I have shown you like how from the scratch, like how we can create a EKS cluster, how we can host a application in that EKS cluster. Yeah, so all these are nothing but you are creating and publishing your infrastructure in the Kubernetes service, right? Nothing but you are publishing your application in the Kubernetes service. But think about a case like you want to have a monitoring system which monitors your Elastic Kubernetes workloads. Okay, so in that case, this tool comes very handy. This tool will comes very handy, and we will be using nothing but the enterprises are now using this tool to monitor your Kubernetes workloads. Okay, so here in our case, we are using the Amazon EKS, which is a managed Kubernetes cluster. In that Kubernetes cluster, you can host your workloads. Okay, so that's the specialty of Amazon EKS service. Whereas once your workloads have been hosted on the EKS service, you need to have some monitoring tools, right? So this is where Prometheus comes in picture. Okay, now in this demo, what I do is once we have the EKS cluster created, then how we can host an example application into that EKS cluster. Then after that, how we can configure the Prometheus monitoring tool on that EKS cluster. Okay, to monitor all the workloads or all the resources present on the Kubernetes cluster. Okay, so with that note, let's get started to our demo. So what I have done is I have documented all the required commandlets in a particular JSON format. I will be sharing this JSON format in my comment section or in my description section of this video. So this commandlet file will be shared to my GitHub account. From there you can download it whenever you are trying to do it. Okay. So first of all, so as I explained, so it has three steps generally. First, I will be hosting I will be creating a EKS cluster. I will be hosting an application. Then I will be configuring the Prometheus. Okay, these are the top level three steps. Okay, so first, how we can create a EKS cluster. Okay, so to create the EKS cluster, we need to have a prerequisites in your system. First prerequisite, you need to have the EKS CTL tool installed in your system. Okay, so I have already installed, and henceforth I am able to create the EKS cluster as you see here. Okay, so this is where I have run my commandlet so as to I can save the time. Yeah. So this is where our first step is to create the EKS cluster. Okay, now let me go back to that PowerShell window. So here I'm using the PowerShell commandlet, PowerShell tool to invoke my all the commandlets so that I can show you the required demo. Yeah, whereas you can use the CMD and other tool as well. So, okay, so here what I'm doing is, since I'm using the AWS CLI and setting the context of my AWS account. Okay, so here AWS configure is the command through which you can set the context of your AWS account, where you will be creating the EKS cluster. Okay, so that's where I have set my context by running the command AWS configure. Then AWS while you run the command, then it will be asking you the access key, secret key, the default reason, and the output format. Okay, so that's what I have given and I have set my context. Nothing but I set my AWS account context. Okay, next what I did is I am using the EKCTL, right? As you see here, I have installed my EKCTL tool. So to know more about how you can install the EKCTL tool, please do watch my previous videos where I have explained like how we can install the EKCTL tool in your system. Okay, in your Windows system. Here my system is Windows, whereas according to your version you can change your the EKCTL installation. Okay, so here, since the EKS cluster creation will take almost nearby 15 minutes, to save the time, what I did is I have pre-run this command. As you see here, this is command is just now ran. That's the reason it shows the output below. Right. So what is, I have given the name of my cluster as a keynote, which is an example application name. Okay, and I have hosted that application. I will be hosting that application in this EKS cluster. Okay, so this is the commandlet, that is EKCTL create cluster, then the reason, right, and the name of my cluster and the zones where I want this EKS cluster to be situated. Okay, so that's what I have given, and once I ran this command, it has taken almost 15 minutes. Right, at the end it has successfully created the EKS cluster. Okay, here you go. The message says EKS cluster keynote in US East region is ready now. Okay, so now let me show you that cluster. So I'm in this is my AWS account. I'm currently in the EKS blade. Okay, so now let me go to the clusters. In that EKS cluster, we should be seeing my cluster right now. It's getting loaded. Okay, so here we should be seeing the keynote cluster command running here. Okay, so if I need to go back to the Kubernetes. Okay, this is not container service. This is Elastic service. So let me go to the Elastic services. And if I go to the EKS clusters, here you go. So this is the cluster which I have just now created and it is running. Okay. So as you see here, so this is my cluster, and if I go to the workloads and if I go to the configurations, we should have some configuration data here. Right. This is the detailed configurations. Yeah. This is my networking, add-on, authentication, etc., etc., etc. Okay. So this is my EKS cluster. One example EKS cluster is running now. Now what I do is to this EKS cluster, let me host an example application. Okay. So how do I do that? So to do that, I need to go ahead and run the next commands. Okay, I have already articulated all the required commandlets in this JSON format so that I can save the some time. Okay, in this demo. So next one, I just need to check whether my nodes are running or not. Okay, so let me just do a primary check with using the kubectl command. Okay, so if you remember, there is a difference here. So here earlier I was running EKCTL, which is an Elastic Kubernetes Service command line tool. This is kubectl, which is a Kubernetes command line tool. Okay, there's a difference between these. Okay, that command EKCTL we use for spinning the EKS cluster, which is a managed Kubernetes service from AWS. Okay, whereas kubectl it's a command line tool which is used to interact with our Kubernetes API service. Okay, and again you need to get this kubectl installed in your system, then only you can use the kubectl command line. Okay, again, to know more about how you can install this kubectl in your system, please do watch my previous videos as well. Okay, so now let's run this command. Let's see if it returns the nodes which are running my EKS cluster. As of now, I have set the context to my account. Okay, nothing but my AWS account, and it should return me some outputs. Okay, as you see here, it contains two nodes which are ready and up and running fine. Yeah. Now let's go to the next command. So next command is I will go and deploy an application to my EKS cluster. Okay. So for that, what I did is I have downloaded an example file from very good example in the internet. Okay, I got some file. I got some application folder which I downloaded from the GitHub repo, and I would be using those same repo in this demo as well. Okay, so for that one, to do that, I need to do the CD and go to that folder. Okay, I'm doing the CD and I'm going to that folder. So let me go to that folder as well. So here you go, right? So this is the yeah, this is the Keynote JS master. It is this application is written by somebody, which I have downloaded from the internet, and I'm using the same application. Okay, so the application folders, files and folders looks like this. Okay, it contains JSON file, it contains index.json file, index.js file. So this is an Node.js application, and I have a Docker file. Okay, so and also inside this I have the services been defined. So these Keynote, Minio, and Mongo are all nothing but one application. These are nothing but one services, which I will be hosting on the EKS cluster. Okay. So now let's do that. Okay. So now I want to host that application to my EKS cluster which I created above. Okay. So to do that, I have to run this command. Let me do that. So so it should be failing now. Why? Because I'm inside the cube. Okay. So because here if you see the commandlet kubectl apply -f -cube, nothing but you should be in the you should not be inside the folder, but you should be before the folder. Okay, so that it will automatically identify the folder and it work. Okay, so let me do a CD one step back. Okay, so if I go back, I should be here, I should be in this context, then only the folder cube will be detected and automatically these three YAML file will be ran for hosting those services, these three services. Okay, so before I walk you through the next command, let me open this command and show you what it contains. It contains the definitions. Okay, so let me open the three. I will just quickly walk you through this as an overview. So as you see here, right, so here it is. Yeah, so this is a service. Okay, this is a kind is service, and the name is Minio. Okay, so and if I go to the again, so this is again type. If you go to the kind, it's a deployment. This is the Keynote is a deployment. Nothing but Keynote is my service. It's an application. As you see, this is an application deployment specifications. Okay, I will be sharing this data as well I will be giving the link of the GitHub account where I have downloaded this file. For example, if you want to test this. Okay, so somebody expert who is expert on the writing these files have been written this, and I have downloaded that for this my demo. Okay, so similarly again I have the one more service which is a Mongo service, which is nothing but MongoDB. Okay, so this application is using MongoDB and is also using the Node.js application. Okay, so these are the files which I will be invoking now by this command. Okay, now let me go up and run this command. So what actually does this command is with using the kubectl, it's just creating the three services in the EKS cluster. Okay, let's wait for some time. So as you see here, Keynote service is created, deployment is done. Then it has created the other service, that is Minio, nothing but one more service. Then it has created the MongoDB as well. Yeah. So it has successfully hosted the application in the EKS cluster. Okay. Now let's go to the next step and check if our parts are running in the cluster. Okay. So how now you might be having one small doubt in your mind, like how it has identified. Since we have our required source code defined in this folder, and we are invoking we are invoking this YAML file, it will automatically identifying the dependency, and it is hosting the EKS cluster. It is hosting the an example application, nothing but Keynote application to my EKS cluster. Okay, so that's the layman terms to understand. Okay, that what is happening here. Now let's go to the next command and check if what are the pods have been running in our AKS cluster, in the EKS cluster. Okay, so now let me run this command and let's see how many pods were running. Okay, so kubectl get pod hyphen hyphen watch is nothing but it will just retrieve the number of pods being hosted in our cluster. So as of now it is hosted, it is having 3 pods running there. Okay, one is Keynote, Minio, then the Mongo. Okay, so these are the services been running in our EKS cluster. Okay, let me come out of this by clicking the command Control C. Okay, now let's go and see the get the services data. Okay, nothing but I want to see that service now. So for that one, what I need to do is I need to have the public IP address. Okay, so how do I get that? If I run the command kubectl get service keynote node. Okay, nothing but I'm just retrieving the information about this keynote service. Okay, so it will retrieve the data about that my keynote service. So that keynote service, nothing but keynote service has been retrieved, and this is my FKDN. Okay, through which I can access my application now. Okay, now my application is actually hosted and running in my EKS cluster. Okay, so this cluster, so this AKS cluster now has an application being hosted. Okay, now let's see if that application is responding now by invoking that FQDN in the internet. As you see, I'm browsing that URL from my browser. Okay, here you go, the application is completely running and successfully working. Okay, so to do some small testing, what I do is I will upload one example image file. Okay, so this is one note taking application. Okay, just for your information. Okay, let's do some kind of testing here, seeing like if the application is responding correctly or not. Okay, so now let me go back to and just upload one example JPG file. So this is my JPG file. Yeah, and I will type hello CQPOCs, that is my YouTube channel name. Yeah, CloudQuick POCs. Okay, then let me upload the file. Yeah, then publish it so that the note will be saved here. As you see here, hello POC, and this is the file I have uploaded. Okay, so nothing but the application is working. Okay, so that's what I was just wanted to make a point here. Now what we did is we created a EKS cluster, we hosted the application there, application is running fine. Okay, now so this is fine, this up to this we know that how the EKS cluster is hosting. The next step is you want to maintain, right? You want to maintain your cluster across the future. Okay, across your business runtime. Okay, so in that case, what we need to do is we need to maintain the proper health of your EKS cluster, always have a check on your EKS workload, saying like the workloads are running fine and they are at the optimal stage of their functionality, right? So how do we do that? Okay, so there should be some tool which is monitoring these workloads. Okay, so in this case, to monitor the EKS cluster, we have one tool called Prometheus. Okay, that's what I have given the brief about it. So now how I can host that Prometheus system, or how I can host that Prometheus monitoring service in the same EKS cluster, so that the monitoring also happens side by side of my application running as well, right? How we do that? So let's do that by using the next steps. Okay, so to do that, what we need to have is we need to have first we need to have the Kubernetes metrics service been enabled. Okay, so as you know that the Kubernetes also exposes an API, through which API we can gather the monitorings of or you can gather the metrics which is required for monitoring our EKS cluster. Okay, so for that one, the next step is we need to enable the metric server on the EKS cluster in the Kubernetes. Okay, so these are the next steps are meant for doing that. Next step is apply the metric servers manifest, which are available in the metric servers release. Okay, so this is the commandlet. If we run this commandlet, what it does is it will enable the metric. So it will apply the metric server manifest in our EKS cluster. Okay, so that's what we are doing now. Let me run this command. So what does this is? This is the GitHub account locate. I mean, this is the GitHub URL where the definition has been stored. If we invoke this command, then automatically the enablement of metric server will be done. Okay. So what this does is it will it will install the Kubernetes metric servers on our EKS cluster. Okay, which is needed for our Prometheus tool to work. Okay, Prometheus service to work. Okay. So these are the prerequisites before you install the Prometheus servers. Okay. So as you see here, it has successfully created the required deployment in our EKS cluster. Kubectl apply -f is always nothing but it is nothing but a deployment to your to your Kubernetes cluster. Okay, that's what we have done. We have deployed or we have enabled the metric service, a metric server in the our EKS cluster. Okay, so now let me see the pods. If the pods are same, earlier there were 3 pods. Let's see if the same pods are getting increased here. Okay, so as you see, the pods are still pods are still 3. Okay, in the sense we have just enabled it, but still the services is not yet been enabled. Okay, so what the point I want to make here is, see here we have earlier the metric feature, nothing but an API through which we can gather the Kubernetes cluster metric data is just now enabled. Okay, it's not yet service. Okay, to make that service, what you need to do, we need to install the Prometheus service, which will gather load data and show us, okay, which will gather those data for us and help us for the monitoring purpose. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go to the next commands. Use the following command to verify that the metric services deployment is successful. Okay, so now we have deployed the metric server enablement command. Now let's do check that whether the deployment has went in the right direction or not. Okay, so this is the command, that is get deployment metric server, name is kubesystem. Okay, so what does this tells us? Okay, it will just give a hint saying like it has went successfully or not. Okay, that's the reason. If you see here, the deployment has went successfully, and that's what the information tells about. Okay, we are good with it. Let's go to the next command, and the next command is to get the pods. Okay, get pods. So earlier I have run the kubectl get pod with the -n watch command. Okay, now let me run this command so that I get the pod of specific name. Okay, that is kubesystem. That's the reason I have run this command. Now if you see here, so we are getting the these are nothing but the application parts. These are nothing but system parts. You can tell it as a system parts. Okay, so if you see kubectl get parts name cube system. Okay, so these are the parts are been running as of now. Okay, yeah, so in the sense our the metric server is running as of now. Now let me go to the metric server is active or not. Okay, so this is the command which I would so these are the 3 checks which I am doing so that I will confirm that the metric server is enabled on the EKS cluster. Okay, now let me run this command, let me copy correctly. So this is the command which will tell us that metric server is active now. I think I have typed the command wrong, so let me type it correctly. Okay, so that command was wrong, so let me retype it again. So what it does is it will tell us whether the server metric server is up and running fine. As you see here, it's available and passed. Okay, so this is what output I have got. Okay, so now let's go to the next command. So see here, as I explained you, the enabling the metric server on the Kubernetes service is nothing but you are enabling the API service through which you can gather the metric data of your Kubernetes. Okay, so now we have successfully enabled and we have confirmed that. Now how we can gather that metrics by using some built-in commands or using the kubectl commands. Okay, so we can do that. So this is the command which will tell us the metrics of the nodes. Okay, so here top is nothing but it will retrieve the CPU usage. As you know that the top is nothing but an Linux command which will retrieve the CPU usage. So here you go, right? We are able to now we are able to retrieve the CPU usage of our nodes. Okay, we have 2 nodes, and one node is using the 2%, and the other node is also using the 2% CPU usage. And memories, these are the memory bytes been used. Okay, memory percentage used is this is data. Yeah, CPU used in minute is this much, and percentage is this much. Yeah, so we are able to get the some metrics of our nodes. Okay, nothing but server performance metrics have been retrieved now. Now let's go to the one more step ahead and gather the metrics of our parts as well. So this is the command. It's again top is nothing but which will retrieve the CPU usage or performance of the pods. Okay, so that data will be gathered here again. Similarly, like our nodes. Here we go, right? So you can see that data is now gathered. So once we enable the metric server on the Kubernetes cluster, we are able to gather the metrics data of our cluster workloads. Okay. Now let's go to the one more step ahead and check raw data. Okay, so we are able to pull it at the node parts. Okay, now let's gather in one shot, like all the raws. So this is the command which will get me that data. Okay. So what this command is, you can also access the kubectl raw data, nothing but which will pull the raw resource usage metrics for all the nodes in the cluster. Okay. So that's what this does, and it is in the format of JSON. Okay. All right. So we are able to gather the data after enabling that. Okay. Now let's go to the next command. So so there is one more requirement before you install the Prometheus service, which is used for monitoring and alerting purpose. So Prometheus service is specially used for, so as you see here, so now we have some source which can give us the metrics. That is by using the metric server. Now there should be some service which will gather this data, which will keep the monitoring and alert whenever there is a need, yeah, or alert based on our requirement. Okay. So that kind of operation will be done by our Prometheus service. Now let's go and install that Prometheus tool in our EKS cluster. Okay. So to do that, we should have the Helm service to be installed in our system. Okay. Through the Helm service only, you should be able to install the Prometheus service. Okay. So the Helm installing the Helm service becomes a prerequisite for this demo. So again, I would recommend you to watch my previous videos where I have explained around this requirement, saying like how we can install the Helm service in your laptop so that you can use it for deployment purpose. Okay. Or to use for any kind of deployment to our EKS cluster. Okay. So here, as you see here, so the Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes, helps you to install and manage the applications on your Kubernetes cluster. Okay. Yeah. So it's a package manager tool which you need to be installed in your system so that you can use that tool to communicate with the EKS cluster with regards to installing and managing your applications on the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So I have already done in my laptop. Okay. So the Helm tool is already installed in my system. Again, I would recommend you to please do watch my previous videos in regards to this one, in regards to this requirement. Okay. So here, this Helm tool will be installed with the one more prerequisite tool, that is a Chocolate installer. Okay. So once you have that package installed in your system, then only you can install the Helm tool. Okay. On top of that only, you should be able to install the Helm tool. Okay. So which is nothing but a package manager. Chocolate is nothing but a installer. Okay. Which will help you to install the Kubernetes Helm service. Now I have already installed the Helm service. Let me see if the Helm is running in my system or not by running the command Helm version. So as you see here, I have the Helm been running in my system. Okay. And this is the package version and chat information and all. Okay. Yeah. So now as I have the Helm installed, which is a prerequisite for to deploy the Prometheus on the EKS Kubernetes cluster. Now let's go ahead and install the Prometheus service on the EKS cluster. Okay. So to do that, what I need to do is I need to first create a namespace. Okay, namespace in the Kubernetes cluster. Okay. So how I can do that? I can do that by using this command. Okay. So let me copy this command and I will run it. Okay. So here, let me run that command. So that what I'm doing is I'm creating a namespace. Okay. I'm creating a namespace so that I can install um, the Kubernetes monitoring tool, that is Prometheus. Okay. So I'm just creating a namespace with the name monitoring. Okay. So this is the tool, this is the command which will create that namespace in the EKS. Okay. Now, now with that, now we need to, so once the namespace is created, we need to do the next steps to install the Prometheus service in the EKS cluster. Okay. So it will take some time. So let's wait for some more time. Once the namespace is created, we have to yeah, so here you go, the namespace is successfully created. Now let's go and create the next steps. Okay, and let's run the next steps. Okay, first one, Prometheus needs a way to persist the matrix data for historical reference. Okay, so for to do, and also we'll use the EBS, which is provided with the GP2 storage class. Okay, so to do that this operation, we need to run one more command called kubectl get sc. Okay. So now let me do that. So I will be running the next command. Yeah. So this is where actually the installation of Prometheus and how we can consume the Prometheus service will be happening here. Okay, so earlier was a prerequisite kind of thing I have shown you. Now it's the original one where we will be installing the Prometheus, we will be configuring the Prometheus targeting to a particular EKS cluster, yeah, and how we can consume that Prometheus services to gather the required monitoring data of our cluster. Okay, so here you go. I have run the command and it has returned the data. Okay, so it means that so we have the a persistent metric data for the historical reference. Okay, so that's what we have done. Now next, what we need to do is we need to add the chart. Okay, so we need a Helm chart to be added so that the Prometheus service will be using that. Okay, so now let me do that. So this is the command which will help me to add a Helm chart. Okay, so it's already, since in my system this chart is already there. Okay, this stable chart is already there. That's the reason it says that it's a stable is already exist, same configuration, henceforth it's skipping it. Okay, so with that we are done with that second step as well. The next step is the actual step where we are using the Helm tool, Helm commandlet to install the Prometheus. Okay, so that's the reason we have that's the reason I have told you to have a Helm installed in our system. Okay, because we are using the Helm commandlets to invoke the command which will install the Prometheus tool in our EKS cluster. Okay, so now what I do is I will just copy this code and I will run that. So this commands, okay, it's a Helm. Okay, we are see here the invocation is happening from the Helm. Okay, which is okay. So let me again reiterate. So Helm is a package manager for Kubernetes, okay, which will help us to install the or manage any kind of applications. So now what we are doing, we are installing an application called Prometheus, which is a monitoring tool which will monitor the EKS cluster. So that's the reason Helm install, two commandlets are being used, and the service is Prometheus, and this is our chart detail, and the namespace is the pointing to a monitoring namespace which we created above. Then the set, okay, then we are setting the configurations of the Prometheus. Okay, so now let me run it. So it will take some time to get the required configuration done in our EKS cluster. Once the Helm has been configured, then we can leverage the Helm. Once Helm configures the Prometheus service in the EKS cluster, we can leverage the features of Prometheus service to monitor our EKS clusters. Okay, so this chart is deprecated. Generally, this is the one which I'm using here. It's kind of deprecated, but you can explore the latest charts of Helm, and you can use the same. Indeed, you will be following the same step there. Okay, so it will take some time to get it configured. So here is this is a complete pure demo. Okay, I'm just following the step by step, and also I will share this document so that you can refer while you are trying in your system or while you are trying in your enterprise. Okay, so now let's see. It will take some time indeed. So once the Prometheus service is installed in the EKS cluster, what I do is I will show you two steps that like how we can use the Prometheus service to gather the monitoring data, and how we can access the Prometheus web interface, nothing but UI from our system, okay, by using the port routing method. Okay, so now let's wait for some more time. So currently it is getting installed. So once the Prometheus has been installed, we need to confirm two things. One is the PV and PVC. Okay, and it will be we will be confirming the PV and PVC targeting to our namespace. Okay, these are the next two commands I need to run after this one. Yeah. So now let's go back and yeah, let's see if it got installed. Yeah, here you go. It has successfully installed. Let me see if it got completed. So it's currently in progress. As you see here, I have so it has ran the commands. Here you go. It has successfully installed the Prometheus service in our EKS cluster. Okay, so this is where we have started here, and it has given some inputs which are usable for us. So okay, so again, let me stop the screen for some time here. I will stay in this screen for some time. So here, if you see the chart is deprecated, that's what I have explained you. And after that, it has successfully created the service Prometheus. Okay, in the in our EKS cluster, the namespace where it is targeting to is monitoring. and the status is deployed, and the revision is 1. Okay, and the other data which it provides is just a usable data which you can explore on your own. Okay, yeah. And next we will, as I explained earlier, so we need to run the next two commands to confirm our Prometheus configurations. Okay, so let me do this. Once that is done, I need to do this configuration as well. So in general, so these are the two commands which we need to run once we are installed the Prometheus service in our EKS cluster. Okay, so now once this is done, we will yeah, so once this is done, what we do is we have successfully installed the Prometheus monitoring tool in our EKS cluster. So here you go, we have successfully installed the Prometheus service and we confirmed it as well. Okay, so now how we can access that Prometheus service, okay, from the interface and from the command line based. Okay, so first method which I choose is after the installation, query all the resource monitoring namespace. Okay, so what I am doing is I will just query the namespace where the Prometheus service is being targeted. Okay, so that we will get some data of monitoring. Yeah, so let's see what this command does. So it will retrieve all the information, nothing but what are all the monitoring being targeted by Prometheus will be retrieved by this command. Okay, so here you go, it is huge data. So let me walk you through one by one. So here, so this is where we run the command, and below are the outputs. Okay, so as you see here, it has retrieved the pod monitoring data. So currently it is targeting the pod as well. Services also been monitored, deployments are also been monitored, and the replica sets has also been monitored. Okay, so these are the generally it is covering the almost all parts of our EKS cluster workloads. Okay, so that's where this command all does all about. Okay, okay, so now this is where, so now once we are installed the Prometheus tool, Prometheus service and Prometheus tools are being completely configured now in our EKS cluster. Now we want to retrieve that, we want to see that Prometheus tool in the web page. Okay, so now how we can do that? So we need to follow two more steps to and here what are the method we are following? Okay, we are using the Kubernetes port forwarding method. So this is the one method. Again, I would again encourage you to explore yourself. So in layman's term, let me tell you. So this is, we are routing the port so that the Prometheus service becomes exposed to the internet, and from there we can access the Prometheus UI. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. So now first let me get the pod name. Okay, let me get the pod name of our Prometheus service. So what I'm doing is I'm storing in a variable. This is a PowerShell variable, that is $pod name. It's a PowerShell variable equal to where I'm getting the Kubernetes pod and pointing to a namespace called monitoring, and we are retrieving the Prometheus app equal to Prometheus and computer equal to server, component equal to server, and JSON path is something. Okay, so this is nothing but, so let me show you what this variable contains. Now it contains a pod name. Okay, so this variable should have the pod name. So as you go, so this is a pod name. Okay, so once we have the pod name, I can use the Kubernetes port forwarding command to forward the port pointing to this service. Okay, so that we can access the web page of our Prometheus tool. Okay, so I'm doing the port forwarding on port number 1990. Yeah, and the namespace is monitoring. So this is the commandlet. Okay, so this is kubectl namespace pointing to port forward. Okay, port forward is the keyword must and should be there while you are running this command. Port forward, here is the pod name, and this is the port. Okay, this is the port name where we can access the Prometheus tool. Okay, so now let me, so as you see here, so it has forwarded to this public IP address targeting to this port. Okay, now I will copy this public IP address and access from our tool. Okay, this is our application. Just now we saw it. Now side by, let me access the my Prometheus tool. Okay, so now or let me access here. So it's getting hung. So let me access Prometheus tool side by. Yeah. So okay. So let me minimize it. Yeah. And finally, so here we go. So let me put that and enter. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just accessing that public IP address on port 9090. Here you go. Your Prometheus service is been running successfully and it is available. Okay, so if you see, this is the Prometheus URI. This is Prometheus UI, which has been hosted in our EKS cluster, which will help us to gather the monitoring data of our EKS cluster. Okay, and here you can execute the queries or configure your alerting and configure the, and you can do all kind of monitoring steps. Okay, so this is where this tool will become very handy for our monitoring purpose. Okay, and this is our application which is hosting on the our EKS cluster. Okay, so this is how, so in general, this is how we configure our EKS cluster, and then we target our Prometheus service, which will monitor our EKS cluster. Okay, so that's it. I have successfully shown you the required steps to be done, like from the scratch to end, like how we can configure the EKS cluster, then how we can publish an example application to that EKS cluster, then how we can configure the prerequisites, for example, installing the Helm charts in our laptop, and then how we can create or how we can pull the Prometheus image from the GitHub, then push that image or host that service into the EKS cluster. Then after that, how we can do the port forwarding, and once the port forwarding is been done, how we can access our Prometheus tool. Okay, so these are all the long steps we have covered in this demo. Okay, so and also so this document will be shared in the in the GitHub repo, and that link will be provided in the description of this video. Yeah. With that note, thanks for watching my videos. Kind request, please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. Okay. With that note, thank you. Thanks a lot.